Hi. How you doing?
So let's talk about... This is Grumpy Old Men, obviously.
Welcome back.
And we are going to talk about, starting today, about our pains and aches. And we mentioned a few weeks ago about how one thing that you do notice as you get older is you make a lot more noise just to do very simple things.
Yeah.
Like when you sat down just then, it was...
Yeah. And only part of it is attention seeking. The rest of it is genuine
Do
pain.
your top button. We don't want to see your hairy chest.
A few do. Listen, in the comment section, do you like Steve's hairy chest or not? Watch your toes. I'm going to scooch closer to the rickety table.
Okay, scooch closer.
All right.
Oh my God, you are closer.
Yeah. Just watch this thing shake now.
Okay. So what were we talking about just before we went on? Ladies were buying something online?
Well, sure. I can talk about that if you want. How Facebook. Yeah, I'm vain. Facebook.
You're doing a Mitch McConnell. You're just stopping mid-sentence.
Yeah, Facebook will tailor ads to give you a more satisfying advertising experience.
Satisfying indeed.
Really? Yeah. There is a more satisfying way to pick your pocket. Bear with us. It's
called an algorithm.
So, yeah, the algorithm, invented by Bob Algorithm in 1939. For some reason, it started showing me ads for women's masturbation aids. Things that...
What's in that?
Things that vibrate, all right? I don't know what I searched for that convinced it I needed this product. But
wasn't the conventional aid that we would think of, though?
No. This one, while it vibrates traditionally, is molded in soft, pliable rubber in the shape of a mouth with a protruding tongue, so that you apparently feel the lips as well. They are a woman's lips. It is molded, not a man's lips, but big, plump, red, lipstick woman's lips.
No mustache.
No mustache, right. If it was a man's mouth they were reproducing, there'd have to be stubble, which she would then complain about afterwards, at least in my experience. Never mind, I've worn a hole in the frenum. Is it a frenum? The bit of skin that connects your tongue to the floor of your mouth. I have on many occasions given myself an open sore there from rubbing across the bottom teeth. Never mind, you sacrifice your tongue.
I know what you were going to say there.
But no, she's going to complain that you didn't shave before.
Right.
Ha! Grumpy old men indeed.
So, you had issues with your prostate.
Yes.
And that's all been fixed up.
Long time, yes. Long time.
So I've got something that I've known the word, but I didn't know that one day I would get it. And it's not forgetfulness. It is sciatica.
Ooh.
Have you ever had sciatica?
Not that I'm aware of. I've had pain in my lower back, but I don't think it's sciatica.
What do you think it is?
Moving furniture. Having a job that required me to move a lot of furniture. Having another job that required me to unload
probably sciatica.
Trucks. Well, perhaps.
It can be a sort of a sudden, sharp ache, or it can be something that's just like a dull ache that's there all day, which is the one I've got at the moment.
Yeah, I think sciatica is nerve related.
Oh yes,
and most of lower back pain is muscle related. But I may have it. You obviously have been diagnosed, and that's what you have.
So I have been suffering somewhat, and I'm hoping I'm going. I mean, I do have a pain for about an hour each week sitting in this chair.
Yeah.
Not necessarily related to lower back pain.
I am bad for your health. It's true.
But this sciatica,
I'm a
been
pain
horrible.
in the back.
So, look, I know everybody's going to jump on and go, I know how to fix sciatica, but don't worry, I'm onto it, and things will be fine. If I just wince, it's not necessarily because of Steve. It might be because of my sciatica.
I'd be more pleased if it was because of me. Any attention.
I'm not going to read that one. You may have already answered this, but do you know the meaning of the symbol on the flag behind you? Is it Japanese? 30 seconds.
Where's the duck?
28.
It is a kanji. I forget the word. It is Japanese, derived from Chinese. It is the word sea turtle. In Japanese, it's a symbol that appears on the back of the uniform of a character named Goku, who is the hero of an anime called Dragon Ball. And my son and I watched a ton. For a divorced father with a son 10 to 14 years old, anime is a gift. Anime and the Boy Scouts saved my relationship with my son when the courts wanted to tear us apart. And I will praise Japanese cartoons and the Boy Scouts of America till the day I die for doing that for me. But that is where that comes from. That is the symbol for sea turtle.
Did you do scouts when you were young?
Oh yeah. I was a Boy Scout. I was a
cub and a scout.
Yeah. I got up to life, I think, or star, life or star. My son is an eagle. Of the 12 men who've walked on the moon, 5 were Eagle Scouts, 11 were Boy Scouts of some rank or another. Only one was never a scout. What was his name? Alan
Shepard?
He was the one who got thrown out. He was the one who was disgraced because he took a sheet of postage stamps to the moon and brought them back and was selling them, signing each stamp and selling it for like $100.
Good on him.
Good on him, yeah.
That would have been me.
They were allowed to bring 8 ounces or something of personal effects, and so Armstrong famously brought a golf club and a single golf ball and drove that golf ball on the moon. And what this guy brought was a couple sheets of postage stamps. And NASA thought, well, that's very undignified. That's bringing down the profile of NASA, and they kicked him out. Now they're selling Tang, right? NASA is selling Tang, the drink the astronauts took to the moon. But they kicked him out for doing exactly. He's the only one who was not a Boy Scout.
Peter Downer says, hi, I'm in New Zealand. I've been told if I retire in Thailand, my super would be taxed in Thailand. If so, what is the tax rate and how would you pay it? Thanks, Peter. Steve?
Not a clue. What's a super?
I have no idea either. Superannuation.
What? I don't. Is that your Social Security? Your
yes,
pension?
Yes.
Oh, mine is not taxed here.
You meant to say I've got no idea.
I have no idea.
So I'm sorry, you really need to speak to a tax accountant.
Yeah.
When we invite questions for grumpy old men, it's usually something not involving superannuation in New Zealand.
Stick to prostates. That
Yes.
we know.
Or sciatica.
We got that down. Yeah, weak backs.
Or female
painful.
vibrators.
Yes! I could write a book.
Tim, what's the latest on the hotel? Having fun dealing with a Thai landlord? Well, watch last Friday night's episode. It's not going ahead for reasons Steve's had to listen to, sadly.
Yeah, well, the
for the
normal
past
reasons.
couple of weeks. Yes, the
And
normal
I think
reasons.
you did the right thing. You bailed. You walked away from a situation that was increasingly deteriorating. I think I wouldn't.
And it wasn't even open.
This is why he bought boats and I, couldn't afford a subscription to Mad Magazine.
Simon W. asked the question, is it legal to grow your own broccoli for personal consumption? There's no easy answer to this, but Steve would say, but be discreet.
Be discreet and know how to do it. Everybody's growing pot in their backyard right now. Everybody in Thailand is growing pot in their backyard, and it's all crap. They don't know how to do it.
I don't grow.
Well, you don't, yeah. Next door neighbor right here. I can take you over there, show you a 6-foot plant right next door. I mean, whether it's legal or not, technically, a glitzy 3-story neon lit dispensary on Sukhumvit Road is not legal. I mean, you can't, and letting you sit there and smoke on the premises, that's not legal. And it's still just supposed to be medicinal, not recreational.
But they're still doing it.
But they're still doing it, and everybody with a license to sell assumes that means they got a license to grow, and so they'll start growing. But it's crap. They don't know, they don't segregate male and female plants.
Maybe they need one of those female vibrators to encourage a bit more interaction between the boy and girl plants.
and lubrication, I guess.
Yes, sure.
But yeah, I mean, you can do it, but what you end up putting 4 months into a plant that you may get 4 buds, smokable buds off that plant. You can just go down the street and buy a gram for 300 baht. You can buy it online. I got some pot for 65 baht a gram.
Got to be careful we don't solicit.
Oh,
So I was
broccoli.
I was going to say that there's something about going out into your own backyard, your own veggie garden, and picking up a tomato that you've grown yourself.
Yeah.
And whether it tastes better or not, you enjoy the experience.
You made it.
I'm thinking the same may be with...
Yeah, and if that's your shizzle, then rock on, brother. Yeah, go for it. And maybe you know how. Maybe you've been growing in Northern California. I grew 2 grows in Las Cruces, New Mexico in 2016. And I invested hundreds of dollars in lights and ventilation and sealing the room and reflective wallpaper and and nutrients for growth, nutrients for bud. And at the end of it, I ended up with a couple ounces in a jar. And the first, what really separates the men from the boys is the cure. You can spend 4 months growing a crop and then dry it and completely put it in jars. And the next morning you got white fungus all over it. And that stuff, if you smoke that fungus, it'll hurt you. So you can ruin 4 months of work, of expensive equipment and work and daily effort and electricity. God, it sucks electricity out of the grid. You can do that and ruin it in 12 hours by not curing it right. So, yeah, I at this point in my life, I know how to do it, but I'm ready to let the professionals do it,
So, is it legal? Medicinal cannabis has been decriminalised.
Yeah.
And that's basically all that's happened. Everything else, people are just assuming.
Yeah.
So just be discreet.
Yeah,
okay.
And realize that if it is, anything you do is illegal, which perhaps having 4 or more plants in your backyard may be illegal, if a cop wants to mess with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so don't piss off your neighbors, don't piss off the cops, be polite, and they'll let you rock,
Currently reading Private Dancer, says Canuck 153. Next, My Penrai means never mind. What would you consider as the best Thailand book?
Well, not Private Dancer. It is the best of Stephen Leather's books. I've only read 2 or 3 of Stephen's books. That is by far the best because it's personal. He's writing about his own experiences. It should have been a novelette. It's not. There's no story there for a novel-length work. And in the end of it, he can't think how to end it. So he ends it with a typical Stephen Leather detective fiction murder. Spoiler alert. It ends very unsatisfactorily. My Penrai Means Never Mind is my favorite memoir about Thailand.
I know how to say My Penrai.
Yeah, My Penrai Means Never Mind. Carol Hollinger, who was married to the CIA station chief in Bangkok. What time is it? Class is
getting... There goes the CIA station chief.
3:30. The students are leaving the Ratchabat University down the road. Here's one more. That's Nong Lek. I know him.
And another one.
Nai Hua. At any rate, even my own memoir is not as good as My Penrai Means Never Mind. That is a lovely, lovely book. The best novel is A Woman of Bangkok by Jack Reynolds, written in 1957. Other than that, Bangkok Days is the best novel, the best book. It's not a novel. It's a memoir. It's the best book ever written in English about Bangkok, other than Very Bangkok by Philip Cornwell Smith, which is a reference book. It's an encyclopedia. As far as creative writing goes, Bangkok Days by Lawrence Osborne is the best Bangkok book by far.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Yeah, it's late in the afternoon. We're doing this very late today, and I'm tired. And I haven't had any broccoli yet today. I don't eat broccoli before we do these. And if it's late in the afternoon, like it is now,
despite what you think,
I get antsy, man. I start to jones.
I just want to thank you for being here, and I wish you both a great life, as most of us Farangs have here. Yes. What is the most exciting thing for you both that makes you feel good being here? Have a good time, Tim and Steve. I know you do. And signed by P. So what is the most exciting thing here for you both? Steve, over to you. I need time to think about this one.
Oh, okay.
The most exciting thing for you. You've got a bit of a routine, though. You're a bit of a routine
Yeah,
sort of guy.
I don't like excitement. I
Yeah.
dislike excitement. This is very exciting to me. Having thousands of people pay attention to me, that my nipples are hard right now. But other than that, that's why I wear baggy shirts. I'll tell you something. So I pick up garbage on the beach every day, right? Mostly lighters, but a lot of other stuff. I'm starting to create assemblage art. I'm starting to just stick things together in pleasing patterns. So I'm picking up all kinds of interesting, brightly colored plastic trash and driftwood. I have found 6 pieces from chessboards. 6 different pieces from different sets, right? I assume people play chess on boats, and they pieces go overboard.
There it is, there behind me.
Yeah, it's right back there.
The chessboard.
Yeah, and that's 6 pieces. There are, what is it, 8, 8, 8, and 8, 32 pieces on a chessboard. I've got 6. I'm looking every day. I go out there and I think today's the day.
Were you looking for the rook or the queen? Or
I don't have any rooks. I've got a king and queen. I've got the white king and queen. I've got a handful of pawns and a black knight.
The knight's quite interesting. I picked it as a knight as soon as I saw it.
Oh no, that's trash. I've made a chessboard out of net floats, and I filled in the empty squares with bits of trash that look something like a
I
chess
thought that's what
piece.
we were talking about.
Well, it is.
Okay.
They're just placeholders until I find the real chess piece. When I find a chess piece on the beach, I go nuts. I jump up and down. I shout. I scream. I holler. I kapun patao. For me, finding a piece of trash that I'm looking for on the beach, judge me if you must, but that's excitement to me. I love that. Any collector, anybody out there, if you collect cars, motorcycles, Fendi purses, whatever you collect, when you find that one that fills that baseball card, that Mickey Mantle rookie baseball card that fills in that hole in your collection, you go nuts, right? For me, it's throwing away chess pieces off the beach.
There you go.
There you go. That's probably not the excitement you were looking for.
My life is so busy at the moment, I don't
Yeah.
really need any
works.
excitement.
And with the sciatica, he's painting 2 apartments right now.
Yeah.
2 houses.
2 beach houses.
Yeah.
Beach houses.
2
That's what
beach
we call it.
houses he's
Yeah.
painting with this back.
It's all, I think the painting and the sitting next to you for an hour, it's causing it all.
Yeah.
So, I don't really have, I love doing what I do. I love getting up in the morning. I find checking the numbers and seeing the people who've watched it. I get excited.
That is exciting. I will go along with that. If I look at YouTube and a particular video has done very well, I give myself a pat on the back and I smile.
And if somebody else gets really good views, I don't get excited at all.
No.
I just wish they failed.
Yeah, screw you guys.
Yes.
I don't know you shit.
And I suppose a related question, this one from Joy Watters, who says, thank you very much. Would love to know what Kun Tim and Kun Steve do in their spare time. I don't have spare time, i.e. hobbies. What are your hobbies? You ride on your bike?
Oh, God.
Your turquoise bike?
Everything I do is a hobby. I don't get paid for anything I do. It's all a hobby. The bike is tremendous fun. I would recommend bicycling to absolutely anybody.
When I move to Thailand Beach, I will be buying a
Go on.
a
I'm sorry.
bicycle.
Yes. This is a great place to ride a bicycle. Other than that, I was up until 9 o'clock last night cleaning cigarette lighters. The first step in cleaning a lighter off the beach is scraping off the tar, the crude oil that washes up on Andaman coast this time of year. Scrape off the tar, wash off the sand.
Wax on.
Yeah.
Wax
and
off.
then you got to pry off the metal head of it. Then you have to unscrew the valve that releases the butane that's still in there, and you throw it across the room because you don't want that releasing butane right here in your lap. And then you go back and you get it. Then you take it to the sink, and with steel wool and dish soap, you scrub all 6 surfaces of every lighter.
And how many times have you done that now?
Well, I've got, I think, about 4,000 plus lighters in the house right now.
You're going to get dishpan hands.
The turtle right now, I think, is near 1,000. I haven't counted for a long time. My hands hurt constantly, and I've got a history because I spent 40,000 hours of my life.
You were a dishwasher.
transcribing. Well, I was a medical transcriptionist.
Oh,
and
sorry.
Even though I had an ergonomic keyboard,
Did I out you in your sort of dishwashing days?
That's a hobby.
Dishwashing?
That 4 years, I washed dishes for 8 hours every Sunday at El Caldito Soup Kitchen in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Every Sunday, 8 hours, every Sunday for 4 years. It was the best day of my week. That was a hobby. I loved that. I loved washing dishes for the homeless.
For me, it's tennis. I haven't played for about 20 years. I'd love to pick up a racket and have a fling.
Is it still a hobby if you haven't played for 20 years? A memory of a hobby?
Yeah, memory of a hobby. Yeah. In my mind, I could still whack the ball back, but I'd probably, if somebody hit the ball over there, I'd be going, well, there it is. I'm not going to run and get it.
Have I mentioned my sciatica?
Yes. Hit the ball to me. Yeah. I know the idea is to hit it
right here,
away from me. But
I'm holding the racket right here. Why can't you hit it?
It used to be sailing and yachting, but not anymore. And now it's interior decorating, which I do enjoy. This is from TSL56.
T.S. Eliot.
And says
The
something
Wasteland.
you might want to comment on, perhaps with your own experience. The source of many of our difficulties here is other expats who were involved in crime before they came here, were involved in criminal acts, I should pre-read this, whilst here, or even after they decided to leg it elsewhere. I'm thinking here of those recent arrivals who might already be eligible for capital punishment in their country of origin, but actually I'm not going to read any more of that.
Yeah, I'm not grokking this question.
Sorry.
I mean, 30 years ago...
I could share the guy a full stop. That's about the best I can do, mate. I don't know what's going on there.
I knew some shady characters 30 years ago.
I run into them every week.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And they seem always very happy to tell you what they've done in the past.
Ooh.
Thinking, really, you're telling me this? And half the time I'm assuming they're making it up. And the other half I'm thinking, I think I better go back home.
Yeah. I don't meet many Falang. I meet this guy once a week. There's 6 or 7 Falang here that I talk to every now and then. The ones who haven't ghosted me already. But yeah, I haven't
been asked to that particular club yet.
You can just walk. It's right in front of your house. You can just walk out there, sit down, and say they know you.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, that you can meet. Yeah, John and Peter. They sit and watch the sun go down right out here on the beach every single day.
Okay.
But no, I avoid. Neither of them are. Well, John. Yeah.
Be careful.
But at any rate, I for 15 months I really haven't interacted except online with Falang. So I haven't met anybody this trip like that.
Yeah. Look, when you've got a place like Phuket and an immigration system like Thailand, people will come and go, and some of them are getting away from something.
Yeah.
It might be a wife or a girlfriend, or it might be the constabulary in their home country.
Yeah. And they may have done heinous, evil things that were legal. We all know people who, skirt the law or do things that law allows, which should not allow.
A topical question from a name I can't read because it just doesn't make any sense. If the Thai immigration changes bank deposit requirements for a retirement visa, this is a bit topical at the moment, from 800,000 to 2 million baht, will you stay in Thailand? And somebody's responded to this. It was me. No, so somebody said I would head straight to the Philippines. So, I've lost all the questions again. So is Thailand the best place to retire? So this is the only place you want to retire. Goes up from 800,000 to 2 million.
Yeah, well.
It's going to make it difficult for a lot of people.
We get this question, don't we, every week? Is the Philippines better? Is Thailand? If you weren't in Thailand, where would you go? Guys, I've been writing books about Thailand since 1988. I don't want to go anywhere else. this is it for me. They will carry me out of here in a black
It's amazing.
plastic
In
bag.
response to the program this week where we spoke a lot about these rumours of changes to the qualifications for retirement visas, a lot of people are saying, oh, that's it, I'm off to Cambodia, I'm off to Vietnam, I'm off to the Philippines. Well, I'm not really sure what you're achieving by just sort of telling us that. What you need to do is saying, I will go to the Philippines because it is easier for this, or it's cheaper or whatever. Don't just say, oh, I'm off to the Philippines. Give us a reason why, because then we can all learn something rather than just putting your hands on your hips and marching away. If they put it up to 2 million, there will be a lot of people, if they do put it up by this much, who will have to either resort to getting their visa under the table, or they're going to have to resort to going somewhere where it's cheaper. Now, generally around Southeast Asia, it's getting more expensive. I know it's more expensive, say, in Indonesia. I know in Malaysia they had their program, Malaysia is your second home. That went, you're moist still, are you?
I'm glowing.
Makeup.
Yeah, makeup.
The prices are going up everywhere, and it has been 800,000 baht in the bank for, a long time here in Thailand. It is going to go up at some stage. So I would say rather than sort of going, you need to perhaps just check your situation, check the news. If anything happens, I'll certainly be telling everybody, and then we'll worry about it then. For now, don't worry about it because it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Be alert, but not afraid.
Yeah. We don't even have a prime minister.
We don't. By the time this airs,
we might.
You never know.
Yeah,
you never know. What do you think about all that?
I don't.
You just go, Thai politics.
Yeah.
All neighbouring countries drive on the right-hand side, and the big boss in Asia, China, does as well. This has come from Alpha Bravo. Is there a probability that Thailand will change driving from left to right like it is in most countries in the world? Thank you. And my response was, fuck, I hope not. How would that even happen?
Yeah, I don't know how that happens. Just turning around every single street sign in Thailand? Just that.
But just all the way the roads work, the sort of the right-hand turns
right,
have to become
banked,
left-hand turns.
They're banked in a certain direction. Honest to God, I don't know. And I've never heard anybody suggest that or mention that.
Did you ever, or do you now have a driver's license?
In Thailand?
Yes.
I'm going to pretend I'm not hurt that you are not aware that the cover of my third book is a picture of my driver's license from 1987. I'm going to pretend I'm not hurt by that. But yes, 30 years ago I had a Thai driver's license. Now, no, my driver's license is issued by the state of New Mexico, and nobody has ever asked to look at it. So,
okay. You could get that converted here, you know.
Sure.
I'd probably do it soon rather than
I
later.
could probably... Why? Most of the time, I'm riding in
Otherwise,
Changnam sidecar.
the Rolls Royce is just going to sit out there and rust.
My Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
No.
Built out of old cigarette lighters.
A Volkswagen Carmen Ghia. I love the Carmen Ghia. That's the only car. I'm not a motorhead. I'm not a car guy, but I think the Carmen Ghia is a gorgeous, gorgeous car.
I'd love to get an old Citroen D6. Anyway, I can't remember the name.
What do I know?
You know the one, beautiful looking car. So the complexity of Thailand, I mean, I understand Vietnam drives the other way. I don't know about Laos. Cambodia, I think they drive the other way. I haven't checked. But yeah, about a third of the countries drive on the left-hand side, which they do in Thailand, and the other 2/3 drive on the, like Japan and United States. Yeah. I'm glad because in Australia we drive on the left-hand side as well. But all those people that own cars with the
steering
wheel on that side,
yeah,
I mean, how you can't just sort of go, pull it out here and put it over there. I just cannot see it happening. It would be impossible.
No, there's a guy in town that has a cherry 1964 Mustang convertible, First year they made the Mustang.
Nice.
Very rare because it was the first year of the model. They didn't know if it would sell. So they sold very few, and of course a ragtop even fewer. And it is pristine in every way. It is mint, including the steering wheel is on the American side, right? And I said to him, how do you pass? How do you see on these narrow roads? How do you see to pass? And he said, well, usually, he said, I never leave town. I stay on these streets. I don't go out on the highway. I don't take it out of Turtle Beach. So, yeah, I don't know. You'd have to switch not only the road signs in one day, you'd have to switch every steering wheel in every car in one day.
It can't
and
happen.
then you'd have to tell, Uncle Toon and Aunt Noy that they've got to drive on the other side of the street. You know they won't. They don't now. Everybody goes against traffic now.
It would be wonderful at some stage you were able to perhaps drive from, I'm sort of going right across to like Nha Trang, like in the Vietnamese coast, and you could drive through Laos and Thailand and what's next, Myanmar and Bangladesh and to India. I mean, what a great road trip that would be. But you can't do it because you're driving through, you'd be on one side of the road, then the other side of the road. It would just be a bit of a mess.
Well, that's not something I will ever have to deal with. That sounds like hell to
I
me.
promised. Well, I didn't
Sounds
promise.
like hell.
Okay, all right.
My God, living out of a suitcase for weeks and
You know, they've got things called
weird
hotels.
weird food, and yeah, you carry your suitcase into a hotel and you live out of a suitcase.
Well, I'm sorry, I get somebody to carry my suit. That's the only reason I'd invite you. Carry the suitcase.
Yeah, my sciatica does not allow me to carry your bags,
Steve.
master.
Question for Steve. This is a bit personal.
Ha!
You can choose not to answer. Why did you
never.
decide to raise your kids in the US?
Well, there were a variety of reasons. One, I spoke about a few shows ago about reading a column by David Pratt about how he and his son were walking down the street and there were insults shouted at them. I had taught for one semester in Sri Phuket, the girls' high school in Phuket, and I wanted my kids to be educated in the States. And then, I mean, it was something my ex and I had talked about. Neither one of us really wanted to go anywhere. We were both in careers we enjoyed. We were happy on Phuket. And then I got in a fight. I kind of picked a fight with my boss, and I got fired in 1997.
John?
No. A man...
Somebody else?
Louis Brunner. He was the general manager of the boathouse on Phuket, and I was working there as the public relations manager, and he never liked me, and I never liked him. But
I don't like you either.
But we worked together, right? So Louis and I worked together, and then one day the shit hit the fan, and that's a whole chapter in the book Leaving Thailand. Read the book. But yeah, I got myself fired, and Chavalit Yongchayut had just floated the baht on the international currency exchange. They kicked him out. There was a soft coup, and they kicked him out
I'm looking for the duck.
before he walked out the door. Anyway, yeah, a lot of shit went down, and we left, and here we are.
So, would you consider that your children would have got a good education here in Thailand?
No, I never could have afforded the international schools.
I think the international schools generally have a great standard of education.
Probably.
I tell you, the other thing I really think the kids get going to an international school is they just get that ability, that opportunity to mix with all those different cultures. I think that must be fabulous.
They mix with other rich, spoiled brats.
Okay.
Yeah. Comment.
That's good.
Comment.
That's good for connections later in life.
Sure, fine. It was not something available to me. I never could have afforded international school for our kids.
I went to a private boys' school for 9 years, and I made all those incredible connections
that you use every day now.
Never spoken to one of them since the day I left.
Yeah.
Happiest day of my life.
If you'd gone into banking or politics, they would have been useful.
As you're an Australian, says Peter Mason, I would consider you a Westerner.
Are you Australian? I did not know
Australian,
that. I was
mate.
not aware of that. Strine.
But on a standard world flat map of a round world, Australia is shown in the far east. Question, where is the dividing line between East and West? Even I've got to lean on the table for this one. So this whole thing about, who's this?
This is a courier with, I think, the COD.
Cash on delivery.
Yeah, which
I
didn't go to the ATM. You didn't let me go to the ATM, but I got to go to the door.
Okay, you go to the door and I'll talk about this.
I don't have money to pay this.
So as I was saying before, we were so rudely interrupted.
Thank you for your patience.
So
And-
Steve didn't have any cash. I didn't have any cash. So I had to take the phone, which is here, and scan. So don't you leave town.
No, I won't. I'll go to the ATM as soon as we're done here, I swear.
So it was, illegal drugs and illicit...
No, it's a surge
fireworks.
suppressor. I've just bought a brand new computer, which you have not yet complimented me on. And I wanted to get a surge suppressor because especially this time of year, thunderstorms, lightning storms are fairly common. So yeah, from Lazada COD, because I
It's a good idea.
yeah, Lazada won't take any of my cards. So.
All right. So anyway, we were talking about the East and the West, and this was from Peter Mason. Forced me to have to do an edit in today's show. That's going to take me half an hour.
I'm sorry.
So, when you look at the map, the Mercator's projection, sort of Australia's down in one corner, and it looks like it's sort of under Asia
Yeah.
and it's part of the East. But you could say that about, say, New Zealand or,
South Africa.
we are in sort of that
I
part
guess
of
that
the
is
world.
nice.
But I mean, remember, if you fly... What's that noise? If you fly from Melbourne to Phuket, it's 9 hours in the plane. And it's a long way. So whilst it's on that side, it's a long way from everywhere else. Yeah,
Yeah, your question, what is the line between the
East and the West.
And there the twain shall meet.
So we're sort of going to cut Europe down the middle, I
Yeah,
suppose.
I think the line exists. It's a line between cultures and cultural norms. It's not a physical line. I think when we say, well, Western thinking X and Eastern thinking Y,
I don't think it's countries' borders. It's
not so much anymore.
No.
I think it's a mental thing, an attitude thing.
Yeah, I think it's perhaps, if I might venture, a slightly silly question, because you don't. The world actually isn't flat like that.
Yeah.
Oh, God, just not get into that. It's actually a globe. So you sort of. Oh no, we're going to get. We did talk about the moon landing early, didn't we? Do either of you suffer from selective hearing?
What?
Past the sherry, dear. My father used to be famous for his selective hearing. Selective hearing basically meaning that when you get a bit older, you use your hearing as a means of saying, oh, I didn't hear about that, or really, did you ask me that? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I don't want to answer that. What? Yeah.
So I haven't used. My hearing is still pretty good. I never used to spend a lot of time in noisy nightclubs when I was younger, so I've seemed to retain my good hearing into my dotage.
My hearing is suffering with age, particularly in the higher registers.
So you can't hear the dog whistle anymore.
No, I can't. But I would never ever turn down an opportunity to speak, so I don't ever pretend I didn't hear something. I will answer any question, yeah, at length.
So will you answer this one from Anuchan, who says, how much are people paying for local insurance companies? So if you're talking about health insurance, well, I've been through this 1,000 times. I had a guy called Max on my Saturday morning program a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
He's an insurance broker, and we'll get him back at some stage because there is no one answer to this question. It depends how old you are. It depends on your pre-existing conditions. It depends on what sort of coverage you want, whether you want to just be sort of scraped off the road at the accident and dragged off to a hospital in the worst case scenario, or do you want something that's going to cover you for major heart surgery, for like Steve's facelift or whatever.
Yeah.
Depends on so many things.
Do you want to be scraped off the road with a plastic spatula
Or a stainless steel?
Stainless steel spatula, yeah.
With encrusted in rubies. So my health insurance, I'm 64. I pay 45,000 baht a year. I've got a sort of a medium level coverage, and mine is guaranteed after I pass the age of 70. So I'm fairly lucky. I'm of reasonably good health, besides my sciatica, which I am coping with and sorting out myself without any heavy medication. Paracetamol is not heavy medication.
No, not at all. No, they give it to babies when they're teething.
So, that's what I pay. But look, there's no easy answer for that. You're going to have to make your own inquiries. For those people that are living in Thailand and your visa doesn't require you to have insurance, personally, I would highly recommend that you do get health insurance from a reputable company, if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, I'd sort of be questioning why you're here in the first place, because you just don't know what's going to happen. Question. When did Big Joke take the number... Oh, God. Big Joke is the name of the
cop, isn't he?
He's the deputy commissioner.
You know, the nickname for... Was it Chavalit Young Chayut? I think Chavalit. His nickname was Big Jew. And whenever the Post or the Nation would do a political cartoon of him, he was reviled and not very well liked. And so he would be, I don't know, strangling a puppy or something in a political cartoon. And it would say Big Jew, Jew, on his chest. And he's like strangling a puppy. And these were common, in the Bangkok Post.
Pretty brutal, aren't they?
Yeah, they're
Thai
brutal.
satirists.
They're not subtle.
Oh,
The Thais are not subtle. But that word in English, you're an English reader, and you see Big Jew strangling a puppy.
What was Pro Chanachar's nickname?
I haven't a clue.
Uncle Tu.
Uncle Tu.
Yes.
Like
Tu. T-U.
Oh, Uncle Tu.
Uncle Tu.
Prayu? Tu.
I think Tu might mean uncle or something.
Huh.
I'm not sure.
No, I don't recognize that word.
Okay, because I do speak such good Thai, as we mentioned earlier. One name's Doug. One name's Doug. Why can't you just be called Peter Smith or something?
Yeah, use your real names.
Apologies to Peter Smith.
Use your names.
Why are all the Thai mums still children themselves? Cartoons, soft toys, pillows. They just never seem to grow up, and their mood is always the mood of a pubescent teenager. Please explain. Over to you, Steve.
Yeah, whatever problems you're having with your girlfriend right now, I can't help you. I'm sorry.
Do you think Thai women sort of... Some, not all, but some do tend to carry on their sort of teenage years and their love for the soft toys and
well, that
some
is
pop
kawaii.
bands
That is cuteness. In Japan, it's called kawaii. And old women dress up as little girls with frilly dresses and bows in their hairs and stuffed animals.
I'm not talking about what you wear. I'm talking about women here.
It's fashion. It's just fashion. Hello Kitty, and the fashion of wearing pajamas in public to the mall and stuff. It's just fashion.
Is it more an Asian thing than in the West? I mean, I don't.
Oh, I never saw it in El Paso, Texas. Nobody goes to Walmart in their pajamas. In
Once
El
they
Paso.
get 16, they got a gun.
No, yeah, there's no kawaii and 16, 6. They sell guns now in pink for little girls. Give your daughter for Christmas a rifle, a .22.
Of course, I mean, Western girls are sort of over Barbie by, I don't know, 10 or 12, most of them.
Yeah, for the most part. But even so, the nostalgia that drives the current popularity of the Barbie movie. I mean, that's...
Wow, yeah.
We all, whatever you played with, if you played with Transformers as a kid, you want to go see the Transformers movie. I read tons of comic books. God, Marvel and DC when I was a kid, so I go to all the Marvel and DC movies. Not here. There is no movie theater here in Turtle Beach. I haven't seen a movie in 16 months. But at any rate, that thing about...
You can watch Netflix on your big screen now.
I do watch Netflix. I do on my big screen.
There you go.
I have to slide the chair back because it's so damn big. But at any rate, it's just fashion. It's not... it used to be goth, and now it's kawaii, and It's just fashion. It doesn't mean they're infantilized. It
Always
doesn't
the
mean,
mood of a pubescent teenager.
Yeah, see, that's you and your girlfriend, dude. That's
Yeah.
not anything to do with me.
It's definitely nothing to do with you.
I got no input, dude. I'm sorry.
I think that is relatively selective. I haven't really noted that myself, but I do know that Thai girls, then teenagers and women, do sort of like going into the stores, which some of the Japanese stores, and buying the soft toys and following the Hello Kitty and the latest thing.
Just fashion.
Yeah, I wouldn't take it that seriously.
I was married for 10 years to a Thai woman, and she took half of my income for the next 13 years. So I supported her for 23 years. She was not infantilized at all. She was not adolescent at all. That was an adult, scheming, calculating intellect that dragged me over the coals and kicked my balls for 23 years. She was not a child. So that is my experience, my only intimate experience with living with a Thai woman. And no, she was not adolescent at all.
In the next couple of weeks, we've got the prospect of Mr. Thaksin Shinawatra returning to Thailand. I posted that photo. It'll be just like that.
Yeah.
I suppose I can show
You
this.
gonna stick that in somewhere?
Oh, I can hold it up. There you go. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Elizabeth Taylor and Cleopatra. It'll be exactly like Cleopatra coming to Rome if he returns to Thailand.
That movie held the record for the biggest financial loss for a studio for like 30 years.
Really?
Oh, they lost gobs of money on that movie.
On Cleopatra?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was very
on the sets.
Richard Burton.
Yeah,
Well,
they tried
the
to bend
sets.
her. They tried to bend her the sets, and then she demanded they shoot everything in extreme close-up because she's a diva, and so they built these 4 walls of enormous coliseums, and the whole movie is Elizabeth's face. So,
Extraordinary. If you want to sort of see the old Hollywood, just type in Cleopatra arriving in Rome. It's just like they don't make movies like that anymore. These days it would all be done on a green screen and in a computer.
CGI.
But in those days they built the sets
Yeah.
that you see,
plywood, styrofoam, and plaster of Paris.
including the sort of the ramp that disappeared. Oh, it's extraordinary. Anyway, we digress. The biggest flop this year has been the most notable one.
The Flash, isn't it?
Well, The Flash has done really badly. And then Indiana Jones, that's done really, really badly as well.
That's sad. Yeah.
And Disney are just going through a bad patch.
Well, they're trying to milk these old franchises, and production was shut down for 3 years. You couldn't make a traditional movie for 3 years. All your actors be wearing masks.
Now, a lot of people, there are some people out there saying, Disney went all woke and that's the reason the movies are bad. No, it's not that.
No.
It's just the movies aren't really very good.
Yeah.
And too many people got involved in them and too many script writers. And I don't know what's happened, but...
This is an enormous, faceless, impersonal, soulless corporation. You think they give a rat's ass in the boardroom about LGBTQ rights? At Disney? No. They look at marketing research. They look at focus groups, and they do what the audience says they want to pay $12 for a ticket to see. That's the only thought process.
And the problem is that the audiences aren't going to these new movies.
No.
And I don't think it's just a Disney problem. I think there's a problem across the board.
Yeah.
People are sort of a bit bored with these focus group driven movies.
Well, anything long form. Nobody wants anything longer than a TikTok video. Nobody's reading novels now. Nobody's reading newspapers. Nobody will read a blog post longer than 3 paragraphs. Nobody has the attention span to sit through a feature film.
I'm bored with this.
Yeah, exactly. Who out there? Raise your hands. Who's bored with this already? What's it been, 10 minutes or something?
No. This is the end of the other one. So
At any rate, we had an interruption.
we had an interruption.
At any rate, it's more to do about the effect of social media and computers on our attention spans and how we consume media. It doesn't have anything to do with casting a multiracial actress to play a traditionally white role or putting more homosexual characters in a movie.
I just don't think that's the problem. It's just the movies aren't very good.
Yeah.
A Man Called Otto was a lovely
Yeah.
90-minute diversion with some good actors and a
Yeah.
great script and a great ensemble cast. Had a beginning and a middle and an end. You felt something when you got at the end of it, but they just don't make many of those movies anymore.
And that was a non-studio movie, wasn't it? That was a vanity project by Tom Hanks. Anything big and splashy from the studio is going to be aiming at Chinese 13-year-olds. That's what they're aiming at. That's who's going to movies now.
It may be that we'll get to the end of 2023 and the biggest grossing movie will be Barbie.
Yes! Yes!
I mean, that's just bizarre.
Yeah. Really? A movie about dolls is bizarre? No,
I
it's
haven't
not.
well, it's better
you
than
like Fireball XL5.
better than Chucky or
Yeah. Yeah, nobody's getting their guts ripped out. Splatter
Sure.
porn. I'm done with splatter porn. You know, Black Mirror. I used to love Black Mirror, the show on Netflix. This season, it's nothing but splatter porn.
Oh, really?
It's just blood and guts thrown on the wall.
oh no, I don't like
And
that.
I know it's murder porn. It's not storytelling.
No.
It's a cheap way to get an emotional response from your audience. Rather than have an actor act a scene that's believable, you just have him stab, what was her name, through the shower curtain. You just have her stab Janet Leigh through the shower curtain. That's it. And then next scene, do it again. Next scene, do it again.
Yeah.
Crash a car into a wall. Cut the head off an orc.
The best Black Mirror have been almost Twilight Zone quality, but bring back Twilight Zone.
They did.
Well,
they just brought it back recently. Or The Outer Limits, one of the two.
Yeah.
Jordan Peele just brought that back. And it only lasted 6 or 8 episodes, I think.
Oh, shame.
Yeah, make a new one. The whole idea of the anthology show, Twilight Zone or Night Gallery, if you remember what Rod Serling did after Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, One Step Beyond, all of these anthology shows that would be a separate self-contained episode every week.
I Love Lucy.
I Love Lucy, a lot of stabbing in that.
Yes.
But, that anthology, that's what Black Mirror strives to be. What was that thing that the Argentinian director did, The Cabinet of Mysteries or something like that? And that's fine. You can take that format, that outline, that structure, and make a new show. Taking the old brand Twilight Zone, and saying we're rebooting Twilight Zone, or we're rebooting Spider-Man with a new actor as Spider-Man, or whatever. God, just create a new character.
Yes.
Write a story.
Yes.
Hire actors, not movie stars. Hire actors. Yeah, but now we got a strike going on, so we're not going to see any new good movies for, till we're long gone.
We are waiting for the offer from Netflix. I'm sure it's going to be in the mail. It may have been in that package we had in the middle of the program today.
Another opening, another show.
We look forward to working with you, Netflix. I'm sure it'll be a great relationship that we can build on, and there'll be future remakes in the future.
As long as my trailer's bigger than his.
They'll reboot the franchise.
Yeah.
Well, you're taller, so there you go. Steve, thank you very much.
That's it.
Steve Ross, by the way, has his own video channel. I think I've mentioned this a few times today, but you may have selective hearing and you may have forgotten. It's Steve Ross with an E, and anything can happen.
Yeah.
Like today's video wasn't even posted. You're not going to talk about that, are you?
What?
Well, you had a problem posting a video.
Oh, yes. Watch
the video. Watch the video. Yeah. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Tim. I love this. Thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you, guys. I love you, too.
Not that. That's the camera.
Yeah,
You're saying goodbye to yourself.
As talent, I am lacking. Thank you. I love you. Bye.